Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, my dear sister, Director General of the World Trade Organization, Ambassador Matthew Wilson, Barbados' ambassador to the World Trade Organization, distinguished ambassadors and friends all. Today you have shown that multilateralism can and does work. Today you have taken a decision that is transformational and generational in impact. Today you have made a commitment to our oceans, our sustainability, and to our global fisheries. The WTO Fisheries Subsidies Agreement is a landmark agreement. For the first time, we as WTO members have delivered an agreement that recognizes the complex and symbiotic relationship between trade and environmental sustainability. This is an achievement. By recognizing that irrespective of political power and fishing fleet size, the health of the ocean and its precious cargo is indeed part of the global commons, the WTO rulemaking machinery has in fact sent a strong signal. A signal that illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing will not be tolerated and will be sanctioned if it occurs. That fishing in prohibited areas and violating national or international conservation laws will not be tolerated. That coastal communities and small island states that depend on fishing for employment, nutrition, food and economic security and livelihoods deserve to have access to the resources in their own waters and to be able to build up their fishing sector in a sustainable way. Today, my friends, is a moment, therefore, of celebration. Since 2001, you have been negotiating how the WTO can play its part in protecting our oceans and our fish. But during that time, fish stocks, yes, have depleted, and our seas, our coral reefs, our coasts have been ravaged by the effects of the climate crisis. There remains, I tell you, more to be done. WTO members must now tackle the scourge of over-subsidization from major fishing nations that is devastating our global commons and preventing small island states and LDCs and small vulnerable economies from participating in an economic activity that can bring so much to our economies and our societies. We cannot wait another 24 years to complete our assignment. I would like to urge all WTO members for us to get back to the negotiating table to bring Part 2 of the Fisheries Subsidies Agreement home, and to do it, yes, in a spirit of compromise, fairness, and proportionality. For we remember the Aristotelian principle that has guided us in so many trade agreements: equality among equals and proportionality among unequals. My friends, Barbados has played an important part in these negotiations since they were launched. Because as a small island state, or rather, as I like to say, a large ocean state, we know of what we speak when we reference fishing as a way of life, or as a part of our culture, or as a tool in our food security toolbox, and as an ingredient in our economic resilience strategy. And if we didn't know it, we certainly learned it last year when Hurricane Beryl devastated almost 90% of our fishing industry and destroyed our fishing harbor. We join other small island states in the Caribbean, and as we coordinate the ACP group at the WTO, our brothers and sisters in Africa and in the Pacific region, to thank those contributors to the WTO Fish Fund for recognizing that trade rules need accompanying financial support for developing countries to implement them, for recognizing the advocacy and support of many non-state actors and think tanks that have all supported these negotiations and placed small islands at the center of their programming. And of course, we would want to commend the leadership of Dr. Ngozi, our dear sister, for bringing this agreement home. And yes, to applaud all of us in this room today, and all of the past delegates and negotiators for their commitment for bringing us safely to this point. I hope that we will all take this as a strong signal that the World Trade Organization does work, and work in the interests of countries and ordinary people. Maybe not as quickly as some of us would like, that is true, but it can work. And let us preserve this incredibly important organization as we embark on WTO reform, we must cherish the fundamentals of dialogue, of consensus decision-making, and indeed of transparency, because that is what makes it a lighthouse for global discussion and rulemaking. My friends, today is a snapshot of what the World Trade Organization can do. Preserve it, treasure it, and let us together make it stronger. Congratulations on the Fisheries Subsidies Agreement and on to Phase 2. Thank you.